A man was walking in the woods one day when he saw a bear out of the corner of his eye. He stopped, said a silent prayer. God, I know you can do all things. Will you please make this bear a fellow Christian? The bear caught up to the man, placed his paw on the man's shoulder, and said, Brother, will you pray with me? Dear God, for this meal that I am about to receive, make me truly thankful. This is The Christian Bear with Dr. Ben Hilskamp. Welcome to episode 21 of The Christian Bear. I'm your host, Dr. Ben Hilskamp. On this episode of The Christian Bear, we're going to continue our series on belief, specifically looking at my personal credo. And today we're going to consider the proposition that I believe in an interconnected web of all existence. When I say an interconnected web of all existence, I believe that all people, animals, plants, and the rest of nature are connected. Our actions affect each other. When we exclude people, and when we harm the environment, we hurt each other, and we hurt ourselves. This particular proposition of my credo comes from the principles of the Unitarian Universalist Association. And it specifically envisions an environment, it envisions creation as not separate entities, but rather as a united whole. Too often we think that we exist in our environment. We exist for, to affect, to do things to our environment. We rarely think that we exist with our environment. That our actions can not only negatively impact our environment and perhaps the people around us, but can also impact the environment as a whole. We think that our one small actions to recycle, to conserve water, to conserve energy, will only have so much of an effect on the environment as a whole. Yet even the smallest actions that we take can have a cumulative effect on the rest of the environment, on other people. We also often think that our small actions, when it comes to how we treat other people, how we interact with other people, only affects those around us. That our views, that what we do to each other, only affects those other people. In our Western United States Christian mindset, we say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And while that is held up as the golden rule, it has unique problems. First, what I do to you, and therefore what you do to me, are not the only paths in do unto others as you would have them do unto you. What I do unto you is bound up in not just what you do to me, but also what you do to everyone else. Because at some point, what you do to someone who does it to someone who does it to someone who does it to someone very might come back to me. What we put out into the world often comes back. If we put goodness out into the world, we may feel goodness in return. If we put evil into the world, we more than likely will feel evil in return. It is not a coincidence, my friends, that human society for ages has punished evil with evil, has punished murder with murder, has punished hurt with hurt. As Gandhi is alleged to have said, an eye for an eye eventually leaves the entire world blind. This is why Jesus in the Gospels commands us that if someone strikes your cheek, turn the other cheek. What we put into the world intimately influences what we receive from the world. And here's the second problem, though, with do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We should not do unto others simply as we want. What might be good for us, what might be sufficient, proper, what might be even holy to us, may not be received the same way by the other person. This is why when Marie Antoinette allegedly and infamously said, "Let them eat cake," the peasants of Paris did not particularly want cake. They wanted the bare rations of being able to survive to the next day. So we return to that we exist in an interconnected web, that our actions intimately affect others, even if we don't know those others. That the good that we put into the world comes back to us as good, and the evil that we put into the world comes back to us as evil. I would posit that those of us who are educators, and those of us who are parents, those of us who are uncles and aunts, those of us who are grandparents, perhaps know this all the better. We know that how we treat our students, how we treat our children, how we treat our nieces and nephews, our grandchildren, we know that they carry that legacy, or conversely, those scars with them throughout their lives. We know as educators that we may or may not see the fruits of our labors, but down the road, someone will remember us and say, I learned that from my 4th grade teacher. I'm a doctor because what my 6th grade English teacher taught me. I'm a professor because there was a professor who said, yes, you're smart, and yes, you can do this. I started my business because my shop teacher, because my art teacher, because my science teacher invested time in me. I didn't go to jail. I didn't go down the wrong path because Mr. or Mrs. or Mix so-and-so took the time to treat me like a human when I felt no one wanted. When I was struggling with my parents, when I came out, when I felt that God didn't want me, that person pulled me aside and made me feel valued. So, as Jesus says in the Gospels, what you have done for these people, for these least, for these greatest, you've done unto me. May it be so. This has been The Christian Bear with Dr. Ben Hillscamp.